Hey, I'm Anthony Romano, and this video is going to quickly answer the question, can you eat 50 grams of carb a day on keto? Or isn't this the metric everybody's throwing out, the boundary that this is the amount of carbs you can have on keto? I've answered this question in a lot of videos indirectly, right? But this one, I guess, is going to kind of address it just head on because people are probably searching for this, and I'm trying to make it quick so you can get the understanding and the reasoning as to why this is not a good idea to look at things as 50 grams a day. Like the video, that will help YouTube show my content to more people, and share this with somebody who perhaps needs to hear it. Let's get into it. Okay, so those of you who are not new to my page know that I'm going to address this by saying there's the side of the coin that's quantitative and the side that's qualitative. You have quantity, quality with everything. And a lot of times, people will simply refer to fitness topics under the quantitative side because it's easier for people to understand. It's more palatable, and it's better for a mainstream audience. So, example, if I simply tell people, yeah, just eat under 50 grams of carb a day, they're probably going to be in ketosis. But your body does not just have a magical cutoff point where it detects there has been, oh, we're on the 49th gram of carb. If we're on the 50th, we're not going to be in ketosis. It's not like that. Your body simply dictates this by your availability of sugar, especially from your liver, and your levels of fasting and, postprandial glucose. So basically your blood sugar throughout the day and your stores of sugar. So in order to actually get into ketosis, you have to clear out your liver glycogen. So your carb stores in your liver, which is basically your backup team. It takes about 3 days of no carbs to do this. But if you do this under 50 grams a day thing, you'll probably get there, by the end of the third day. However, you have to realize not all carbs are created equal. This is where quality comes in. So if you have 100 gram of carb from broccoli, none of that is going to turn into glucose and none of that's going to go to your liver. It's basically all going to be just fiber, and it's just going to pass through your gut. And, it'd be a lot to take in, but you could technically consume 100 grams of carb, right? But none of it's going to spike your glucose, basically. Compared to having, a fruit smoothie that's 50 grams total, and that's your total daily amount. All of that's going to go to your liver. At least most of it, because there is going to be some quick digesting sugars in that fruit smoothie. But you're basically going to shoot a bomb into your liver, which is your bench team of, sugar, and your body's going to say, hey, we don't need to do any ketosis going on. We don't need to do any of that until we get rid of the bench. So, because ketosis is basically an adaptive response to the bench being cleared. So, in general, not all carbs are created equal. And the 50 gram thing is kind of just not irresponsible, but it's a general thing to make it a sort of, mainstream metric. It's one way to make it easy for people to understand. Granted, if you do exercise, you're going to burn off those carbs and it might not really matter. But the way I like to recommend things to people is from the utmost practicality. So example, I know the number one cause of people disliking ketogenic diets or anything like that, especially because I've been doing it for a decade basically, I know that the number one reason why they don't like it is because they've done it wrong. Or somebody gave them the wrong advice. It's not even their fault. It's that some other keto guru said, oh, just eat under 50 grams a day. That is literally the reason why they might not like it. So the keto guru in question did not know that types of carbs matter. So what happens is basically when you keep your body on a carb metabolism, but simply on low carbs, you're going to feel like crap. So your body doesn't care which engine it's on. It just wants to know which one, and it wants to have adequate fuel. So it's either a fat engine or a carb engine. So if you're on a keto engine, and the fat engine basically, and you're 4% body fat, you're going to feel hungry, okay? But if you're on a carb engine and you're on low carbs, right, and you're keeping your liver glycogen still involved, your body's going to say, oh, we got to get more carbs. We're still on a carb engine here, but we're just on very low amounts. So you're not letting your body jump over to that deep end of the pool. You got to jump in. You're not even in the pool, right? So, or maybe you're just dangling your toe in. That's what you're doing. So besides the fact that there are other ways to force ketosis with exercise, etc., you can watch my video on that. The point is, most people will feel bad from having, lingering around in this little gray zone. Okay? So when you're lingering around in that gray zone, basically, it's a toss-up if you're actually in ketosis or not, especially if there's no discernment over which types of carbs you're having. So in general, it's kind of an irresponsible recommendation. The only time I commend the people who are giving that recommendation, or at least their excuse, is that there's somebody who's in this, scientific field, and the studies they're working on literally require them to quantify what the nature of their diet is. So, example, tons of the top dogs in sort of keto science, basically they'll have to refer to keto as, under 50 grams a day of carb, or very low carbohydrate diet. They have to quantify it. This is real life, and real life practicality recommendations are not something as irresponsible as simply what we have to list something as in like a scientific text. So, in general, do not look at it by 50 grams. What you should look at it as is cut out sugar, cut out fruits, starches, grains, okay? Cut out Snickers bars and other chocolates, of course, as well, even though they're delicious, but you get the point. You won't care about them after you cut them out, and this is what's going to enhance your adherence to keto, because your blood sugar is going to be low on the whole. If you get a fast blood sugar spike, it doesn't matter if your total daily carb intake is 30 grams. What's going to happen is, in that moment when you have the blood sugar spike, those 30 grams of carb are going to not only kick you out of ketosis, but they're going to make you more hungry later on, okay? Because you're tricking your body into thinking that it's on a carb metabolism, when in reality, you just want to communicate to your body that you're making the switch. And then from there, after 3 days, it might be a little bit difficult, but you can watch my other videos on how to get on top of that, because I've mastered that at this point. And also look at my other programs. Those will help with that as also. But that is it for this video. I'm Anthony Romano. Peace.